What's up? So this is for July 1st. Coming in the morning, let me zoom out a little bit. Coming into the morning, there is not a whole lot of clarity on what the draw is. We've moved higher. We've left an opening range gap that is higher above us in price. We're pretty extended into premium of the recent range. There's this 4 hour here. This hourly here. Not really any liquidity that is jumping out at me that we need to go take. We've already taken this internal low on NQ. And now we're starting to sell off. We did rebalance this untapped for value gap. And we're selling out. We did leave equal highs here, but it looks like we're hunting towards this low. After delivering out of sell side. So really, it's right now I don't have a bias. I'm kind of just waiting for price to align on multiple time frames. Really just nothing for me right now. So potentially gonna be a no trade day, but we'll see. So this is further into the morning where we've already opened. I'm marking out something that was just honestly just really jumping out to me. We had inversed this 1 minute for value gap. We had a clear opposing draw on liquidity that price could look to go hunt. But I just didn't end up taking this trade. It was because we had that 5 minute sell side imbalance that I thought could reject price and send us lower, because we sort of were in reach where we could have made a retracement down to equilibrium of the higher time frame. There, those equal highs get taken. That was that. It wasn't fully within my model. I didn't see a 2022 or a change in the state that was really clear. It was just that inverse with the opposing liquidity. So when I think of my model, I don't think of that entry being one. At this point, we've moved lower, then we moved higher. We make internal price action here at this high in the hourly for value gap. And really after this move has been made, there's nothing left where I'm very clear that, okay, we've swept something out and there's opposing liquidity that hasn't been taken. There's nothing here now where I'm like, okay, I can have a really good idea of where the higher and lower time frames are aligned. Right now, NQ is showing to be a lot more bearish. ES, as we see on the right, is way more bullish. It's just continuing to displace. And then right here, I wanted to go short. I didn't. So let me pause this. So we had an SMT above the high, which delivered out of the higher time frame for value gap, out of the hourly on NQ. We had a change in the state. We had an inverse, a recent inverse. And yeah, overall, this one was actually good. I wanted to take this, but I was really thinking about, I just wanted a closer entry to the change in the state, and because we displaced out of it, I didn't take this. This one was my model. Now, this was really, this one opposed the higher time frame draw and what we were doing on the higher time frame. The 15-minute, everything, we had moved lower, we took out sell side, and we were displacing higher. So we did not have a sell side draw on liquidity. So that was one thing. That was one reason why I was like, okay, well, this is sort of a negative condition because we have already dropped down and taken sell side. This, what we see on the left here, what my target was literally just the 2 to 2.5 fib retracement of that last move higher. We did have an internal SMT. We did have internal price action where we had closed through a recent series of up close candles that had taken liquidity. But honestly, overall, I just didn't take it. Again, we did not have a draw on liquidity. That was fine. I didn't need to take it because it wasn't completely aligned. There was area in price where we were rejecting out of the 1 hour. We had swept the internal 15-minute and we were displacing on lower time frame. So things were aligning there. But ES, on the other hand, was more bullish. So then we get this move. So this was now 2 moves where I was like, okay, well, this is looking really good. Maybe I should take this. That I didn't take, that ended up working. Now, I try really hard not to look through price with a lens where I'm thinking, well, this could have worked out. Like, I don't want to be thinking that way. Again, we move higher. We take out that internal high on ES. We close through that recent for value gap that is bullish, and then we start working lower. This would have delivered. I don't want to look at it through that. ES is way more bullish. I did not want to be just thinking about that. Then, let me pause. This is where I took really my first trade. We had rebalanced a lot lower on NQ towards the inverse that had been made from that move earlier. And I saw this inverse to the left, or we took internal liquidity, closed through the recent series of down close candles. We had already taken buy side. We had already filled the opening range gap on ES, but we did generate lows on our way down, highs on our way down. We are displacing higher. We're reacting out of a hard time frame for value gap still. But honestly, overall, we were more bullish on ES. So I traded the more bearish asset. And then what we see is, here's my entry. My stop is below the inverse. Not completely though. Below the 2-minute inverse, I get stopped out. Okay, so it's invalidated. Then I go short. This was the actual problem. This was again not my model. So this second trade, this was a revenge trade. This was me saying, well, if I'm wrong, then we must be going short, right? We get this close. Now again above that. I journal, and I ended up taking a third trade. So we displace again higher. We're supporting the 3-minute for value gap. We inverse the 1 minute. We have these resting equal highs that are close. We have that high that's left on ES, and we have an internal high that we generated in the morning on NQ. This in total was just not good trading. This ends up getting delivered. This was really low size. I was risking $50 on this, which I don't want to be taking trades where I'm like, okay, I need to risk less on this because it's not as ideal of a setup. I only want to be taking A+ setups. This was honestly not an A+ setup. It had a very internal model, but that's not what I'm being called to take. I'm being called to take ones that align and deliver in the morning, where we see really clear manipulation with opposing drawn liquidity that is high quality, not something that is, well, this might work. So some things starting to creep in where you're seeing you miss 2 setups where you're like, this will most likely work, and then you don't take it, which is fine. If something doesn't give you enough conviction to take, then you don't need to be taking it. But then coming into the market after that and being like, okay, well, I need to take something, then that's where you're going to start to blow accounts. That's where you revert back to a previous way before you actually learned from your mistakes and started making good changes in your trading.